You are here because you love jamón, and you love cheese, and you love olives, and you love tempranillo, and you love ganache, and you love Spanish food, yes? Is that why we're here? Yes, yes? Before we get into it, I really want to thank our partners, Foods and Wines of Spain. They have been our longest running partner at the Aspen Food and Wine Classic. I'm talking 30 years, and the event is 39 years old this year. So we're turning 40 next year, and I hope you all come back for our 40th. I hope you come back for our 40th. So Foods and Wines of Spain and Alimentos de España, I hope I pronounced that well in my Australian dialect, have invited a 2015 Food and Wine Best New Chef, Katie Button, and partner Felix Meana to share ways to bring the flavours of Spain home to your kitchen. Now, Katie and Felix are the co-founders of Curete in Asheville, North Carolina. Now, they have a collection of restaurants, but also an online marketplace, a wine club, culinary journeys, all designed to immerse you in Spanish food and Spanish culture. Katie is a southern chef, and Felix hails from a small town of Roses on the Costa Brava, which, for those who don't know, used to be the home of one of the best restaurants in the world, El Bulli, and he just told me he used to work there. How cool is that? It's very cool. And if you, after this session, just feel so inspired by what you learn, you can take one of the trips that Katie and Felix do to Spain and truly immerse yourself in Spanish culture. And then before I throw it over to both of them, you should also know they just won a James Beard Award on the weekend for outstanding hospitality. And that's very special. So please give a very warm welcome to Katie and Felix, and they're going to immerse you in wonderful Spanish food and wine. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all so much for being here. We're really excited to cook some food inspired with Spanish ingredients, and you'll get to taste everything. The first order of business, though, is all of you have this delicious looking cookie that is sitting on, do not eat it. So I know the first order of business is to tell you not to eat the cookie because it's going to pair with the orange liqueur at the end. I want to make sure we tell you early enough.
Don't touch it either.
Yeah, don't touch it either. I know I said, you see you have a cookie there and everyone reached out and grabbed it. Don't touch it. But anyway, we've got lots of stuff to show you, so I'm just going to dive in. No?
Yeah, so I'm here doing the easy part of this demo. She's going to be the one cooking and telling us everything about what she's doing. And I'm here just like having the easy job to pair wine with the food that you're going to be tasting. I'm not a sommelier. I become like a wine connoisseur a little bit by accident because I get to run my own restaurant. So kind of pushed me to learn the wine. But my work before opening our restaurant was always service. So I get to learn wine in service, but it was not my thing. So now, over the years, the Curete has been open for 11 years. I get to meet amazing winemakers, producers, importers, and distributors in North Carolina and in Spain. They allow me to go back to Spain to explore these wineries, these regions, and yeah, that's what is making me, to get a little bit more knowledge about wine. And one thing that I always say about wine is that it's easy to pair with food if the wine is good. All the wine that we have in front of us is really good. It's a Spanish wine. It can get better, right? Are you all familiar with Spanish wines? You guys been on the you guys been on the tent already? You've been seeing us. We've been cooking on the tent as well for the past 2 days, and tomorrow we will be there as well. So we have an amazing tent surrounded by amazing producers, and so it was challenging to pick, wines, that they're gonna go with the food because there's so many to pick. But I'm gonna start with the first one that you just have in front of you and you taste. And before coming to the room, the Ana de Codorniu, this beautiful bottle right here. So this is already, what is telling you this bottle? Party, celebrate. So I grew up in Catalonia, and when it's New Year and New Year's time, Christmas time, that's the wine that we always have eyes on it. It's a beautiful wine made in Penedès. It's a little bit inconventional that the normal coupage, there's like a Charelo, Macabeo, Perellada. This one has a 70% Chardonnay. This bringing that crisp and clean, tiny bubble. They make it very special. And also, this wine is honor to Anna, the wife of Miguel Raventos, back in the 17th century. So talking about time. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like it. And I will be jumping and talking about the other wines and telling you stories about Spanish produced ingredients. That's what we're doing today. Basically, Kate is going to show you how to cook or introduce your pantry in your kitchen.
Yeah. I love Spanish food and Spanish ingredients from Spain. They're like really amazing quality things coming from Spain. And I use them in everyday cooking. Doesn't have to be making Spanish dishes per se. And that's really what I wanted to show you, just some tricks of some ingredients coming from Spain and how to use them. The first thing I'm going to show you is how to turn a jar of pimientos de piquillo, which are piquillo peppers. They're flame roasted, fire roasted peppers that are kind of triangular and red in shape, and how to turn them in to melt in your mouth like buttery, soft, delicious peppers. I love these peppers by themselves because of their shape, they're they're these little triangles. You can actually stuff them. I showed that in September, where you can stuff them inside with cheese or ham and cheese, and then sear them until it's melted, and they're delicious like that. But today I want to show you how to turn them into a condiment that you can throw on the side of a charcuterie board or on sandwiches or on toast, and that's to confit them.
Or with a ribeye.
Yeah, or with a ribeye. You're right. That actually is the best. I apologize we didn't cook ribeye for all of you here today, but another time. So I'm going to take a little cast iron pan, but you could literally I would use a giant baking dish and make a lot of these at once, just because they're amazing. And I'm just going to lay them inside the pan.
And you please go ahead and start, snacking. You having, the jamon, the cheese, the picos. Do you have in your plate already?
Do you want to talk about which wine is pairing?
The wine that we have. So we have Celeste. So that's a Verdejo Sauvignon Blanc. Is made by the winery Familia Torres. So they are in the Penedès region, where they make wines also from Costos del Segre and Priorat, but they do projects, in this case in Rueda, Ribera del Duero. They do a project in Rioja. They also do a project in Chile. It's a winery, that's very close to my heart. I have three of the wines, two wines and the liquor that we're going to have in the end are Catalan-based. I'm sorry, I had to take a little bit of proud of my colleagues in Catalonia, my home. So I decided that we could easy go with the bubbles. I will drink bubbles all day long with everything, even with the ribeye that I mentioned. But we could easily do a sherry as well. I love sherry, but if we talk about to bring some sherry, but if we bring sherry in this demo, it will take 3 hours to be done, because sherry is a completely, different world and very complex, and we decided to keep it, easy for you all. So this Verdejo, I think is a good balance with everything that you have in front. The cheese is perfect, the peppers, the jamon, the picos.
Great. So what I've done is I've just lined all the peppers in the bottom of this pan, topped them with a little bit of rosemary and thyme, and then I've got a few cloves of garlic.
That time with the wine. Yeah, that's
yes.
what I was looking for.
Oh, good. And I just smash them and leave the paper on them and kind of nestle them down in the peppers. These are so mouth-wateringly delicious once they are done. And then I've got some Arbequina olive oil. Arbequina is one of my favorite types of olive oil. It's mild and fruity and delicious. I use it a lot for cooking and also making mayonnaises or alioli or something like that. Piqual is another one that I love, but piqual is like definitely stronger, and I love to use that to finish things. So I've got these peppers are now completely submerged in olive oil, and now they just go in the oven at 350 degrees for 2 hours, and they're done. So we're gonna put them in here to the oven, pop them in. Fortunately, we don't have to wait 2 hours for me to show you what they look like so, when they come out. And again, I just did a small amount like for this, but I love doing them in like one of the large baking dishes, just because they are amazing and delicious and will pair so well with the other items on your plate. You also have on your plate Mahon cheese. Did you talk about the cheese?
No.
Okay, and
Montserrat jamón ibérico.
okay, jamón ibérico, which is some of my favorite things. Mahon is our daughter's favorite cheese, but do you want to try the piquillo peppers?
Oh, yes.
Did you try it? Here,
have a fork for
I've
me?
got a fork for you. Yes, I do.
Good. Let me do this.
Okay.
How hot's the oven?
350. Yeah, 350 degrees, 2 hours. Make sure they're submerged. Oh my gosh, they're so good. You want to cook them till they're like fall apart tender and roasted and delicious. And the oil that they're cooked in, you can save and dress salads and things with them. They're so good. I love putting them on sandwiches with sardines and
We're gonna get to the Rioja later, but you're gonna strip it with the piquillo pepper. You know, it's gonna be good too.
nope, they're just the peppers, usually in oil, and yeah, just by themselves. So the next thing, to keep us moving, because we've got lots to show you, the next dish I'm going to show you is how to make a seared fish. We've got with some piquillo olives and tomatoes and garlic and Marcona almonds and white wine and fish stock.
Before you go there, can you tell them a little bit of the pantry they have in front of them? Because this is how our pantry look at home.
Yes, it
Like
is how our pantry looks at home. Yes.
Right? Like
I mean, yes, sure. He's putting me on the spot. It's okay. It's good. We've got we've got olive oil and some vinegars and picos, which are the little bread snacks that you have on your plate, and the ñora chili peppers, which you'll see, which I'll talk about later, and Marcona almonds. And we use all these things, and some anchovies and garlic and rosemary
so
and
our
thyme.
pantry at
And
home is full of that, plus all this tuna, anchovy, olives, like octopus, like all these beautiful things that come from Spain. You know, that we can take advantage and be very creative with it. You know, it's like it's not only that you can eat them from the can, how they come, but you also can cook with them. So we just opened a second restaurant in Asheville, like 2 months and a half ago, and in a place where we used to have a bagel shop. And in the bottom, we have like a shop where we sell retail, and we do our bread, and we do our wines, our Spanish pantry, and upstairs we have a wine bar where we do pinchos. And all this gives you a lot of flexibility to do these combinations. And when you have people coming at home and you're hosting an event or you're hosting, you know, it's always easy to put something together like you have in front of you, make people happy.
so the next dish that we're going to show you is how to use, you know, I love olives, like so much. They add so much flavor to whatever you are cooking, whether it's pasta or salads or fish or meat or a sauce. And they're like this wonderful way of adding that like savory, salty, umami flavors to really anything. And we're going to make a sauce with the olives. In Spain, they have wonderful olives, arbequina, manzanilla, piquillo, which is what we're using today, and gordal. What am I missing? Yes.
Yep.
But snacking olives.
Well, you can snack that
Yeah.
too.
Okay. I don't see them that often. And then The other thing that we're including in this dish are Marcona almonds. So they have these Marcona almonds are delicious almonds. They're great for just snacking. I love the ones with the skins on them. That's what we're gonna use so they like aren't peeled. They're amazing because the skin adds flavor, right? And it's delicious.
So before I forgot, one of our employees that is with us, one of our coworkers was passing around some of these, you probably had them already, you've been in the tent, but she put one of those in your bags. So they're cold now, so feel free to shake it and drink it, or just take it with you for later as a souvenir. It's like drink your veggies, right? Plenty of wine too,
So before I sear the fish, I'm gonna season it. So I'm just putting a little bit of salt on both sides. I've got a pan here heating up with some olive oil in it. And the key to searing is a hot pan, for sure. We have striped bass is the fish coming from Colorado, which will be delicious. Okay, great. So you know that your pan is hot, the oil's hot when you tilt it, and it kind of makes legs like on a wine glass. You see how it does that? I don't know if you can see that on the camera. But see how it like streaks the bottom of the pan like when you swirl a glass of wine? So that's when you know it's perfectly hot for searing. And you should hear that sound. Okay. The other important thing about searing is once you put it in, don't touch it. Let it sit so that it gets nice and brown on the underside before I flip it over and brown it on the other.
How you like the peppers? Yeah. I didn't ask
How
about
do you like the
cheese.
jamon?
No, I didn't ask that question. That's pretty much like obvious. Like it's the one that empty the dish
So
like
that,
right away.
The jamon comes from, the ibérico pigs, those black-footed pigs that feed on acorns in the Dehesa in Spain. It's just, anyway, one of the best ingredients in the world. But to me, I just like it by itself. Like I don't usually cook. People ask me a lot, do you cook with jamon? Do you make dishes with jamon? I'm like, but it's so good. I just want to eat it by itself. Okay, then we're gonna flip this over. I'm starting to see it browning nicely.
I think it was this morning a panel already about jamon and wine. Jamon and ibérico, is so special, so unique, so particular, not only to Spain, but to the peninsula of Spain. Portugal and Spain, we share that beautiful animal, you know what I mean? This is just ours. Like I know in the States, they're trying to replicate it. There are people in Georgia, in Texas, that they broke some of the pigs here. And they're being success. They're doing like actually, I had to try the fresh meats from the pigs and the jamon, and it's pretty good. But the pigs in Spain, they're not only the pigs, it's the dehesa, is where they live, it's the whole ecosystem, how they eat, like the acorns from the oak trees, the mushrooms, like everything, the diet that they have.
Okay, so I'm taking the fish off. I just seared it till it's nice and golden brown on the outside, but it isn't cooked all the way through because I want to finish cooking it in the sauce that we're about to make. So the next step is to blister. I've got some cherry tomatoes, so I'm gonna throw those in the pan and get them blistering.
That was a good tip. It's very easy to overcook the fish. Very, very easy.
It needs more olive oil. You can never go wrong. Copious amounts of olive oil. More than you think.
And tomato loves olive oil. And if you open a baguette of bread, woo, and you put some salt on it, you have a perfect snack there. Tomato bread.
Okay, you can see as the tomatoes see how they're blistering? They're turning that kind of funny color on the outside of them. That's exactly what we're looking for. Okay, I'm gonna toss the tomatoes to the side now that they've blistered, and I'm gonna add some sliced garlic. I've got a couple tablespoons of sliced garlic here. And before I add the garlic, I wanna make sure I'm ready with my next ingredient so that I don't burn the garlic. So I've got white wine, which is gonna be my saving grace from burning the garlic. And it's ready on the side, a cup of white wine. So I'm gonna add this to one side. The reason I add it to one side is because then I can ensure that the garlic cooks evenly throughout before I toss it with the tomatoes. And garlic needs to brown to bring flavor, but you also want to keep an eye so that it doesn't burn. Turn down the heat a little bit. I'm at like medium-low at this point. Oh my gosh, there is nothing better than olive oil and garlic, right? Like, those two things together.
Tell me about it.
Smells so good. Okay.
I'm about to crack a fried egg there.
All right. So now I've got a cup of white wine, which is going to go right in here.
I like a fried egg with everything, sorry.
Okay. Now I'm going to reduce the wine by half, and then I've got some fish stock that I'm going to add in a second. But as the wine is reducing, I like to smash these tomatoes a little bit with spatulas.
Can you tell us how much you like this platform of cooking that you're cooking on top of it?
Oh, the induction range?
Yes.
Yes, I love it. Yeah, we have an induction at home. We love it so much. And this one's really nice. It's very strong, powerful, lots of heat, lots of control.
Literally, right?
Yes. See, it like instantly turns down. Okay, pull it up. Okay.
People have in mind that you have to cook always with fire, you know what I mean? And we love to cook with fire, and we like to cook outside too, in our grill and everything. But we are in love with this induction. You know, it's like it really makes your work in the kitchen much easier. Yes?
I apologize if you said this, but what type of dish are you?
It's striped bass. But you could use any like delicate, flaky whitefish would be like delicious
Trout
in
from
this.
Asheville, North Carolina, for example?
Or trout would be delicious. I mean, I really think anything would go well with this.
Are there things you can't do with an induction stove that you would be able to do with a flame stove?
I mean, the only thing I can think of is if you're like literally flame roasting peppers and you need a fire. But I do that in the oven, so, you know, I mean, we love it, yeah.
She loves it
Yeah,
more than me.
seriously.
It's like, I'm boiling, right?
Yes, because it's so fast.
Yeah.
It's like super fast. Okay.
Oh, it
This
smells
is
so
looking good. Are we making you all hungry? Okay.
So let's talk a little bit about the third wine that we have in front of us. So
Yes, before you do though, now that the wine is reduced by half, I'm gonna add the fish stock and olives and a little bit of thyme and let that cook down. Now you can go.
it's a spectacular wine. I'm in love with this winery, Pares Balta. It's also in the Penedès, very near to Barcelona in Catalonia. But just look about the label in the bottle. You know what I mean? It's like it basically just say amphora and Xarel·lo. So Xarel·lo is one of the main grapes in the Cava. It's one of the main grapes in Catalonia. It's 100% Xarel·lo, and it's been fermented in this beautiful, huge amphora clay, you know, with the clay that is from the area. So this winery make a very, very small production. It's like not even 3,000 bottles. Here is one of them. Very special. And what I make it more special is that there are two female winemakers making this beautiful wine.
Woo!
No sulfates. You know, the amphora makes what you look for the sulfates. You know, that's what the amphora integrates into the wine, so it doesn't need sulfates, so it's pretty much 100% natural. And it's going to be a little bit rich.
Gosh.
than the verdejo that we had before with the peppers and the cheese. So we were looking for a wine that has a little bit more of a structure that can hold the fish. So I thought there was like a good combination. And I know that they were here in the tent, so I asked for it. I hope you guys enjoy it. Cheers.
I can't wait to try this one.
Salud.
Salud. Oh my gosh, that's delicious. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yum. That is amazing. So the at this point, the sauce, like everything's in it. So I reduced the wine by half. It was a cup of wine, a cup of fish stock. Now I'm cooking everything together. I've added the olives. I've added a couple sprigs of thyme, which, by the way, I love that they're like thyme plants right here. I've been like clipping from. And the last final ingredient, well, once the sauce cooks down, I'm gonna add the fish back so the fish finishes cooking in the sauce, and then also add in the chopped Marcona almonds. And the Marcona almonds are gonna bring this saltiness and also crunch, texture to the dish that is delicious. Are you all enjoying it already? Amazing. Oh, good.
There are a lot of Mediterranean flavors right there. So the thyme, the tomato, the olive oil, it's like one thing that we always try to follow, is our Mediterranean diet. So this is perfectly right there.
I mean, it's only going to take a couple of minutes because I've seared it on both sides, and that took about a minute or two to both sides. So it'll take 2 to 3 more minutes in the sauce, just until it starts to flake apart, right? When you like poke at it with a fork and it flakes easily, then you know it's done. Yeah. So while the sauce is reducing, and I will show you the final dish, but I'm realizing the sauce is going to take like 5 minutes probably to reduce. And I'd like us to get started on the sauce for the vegetables for the next dish, just to make sure that we have enough time for everything. So are you okay with multitasking? Okay, cool, great, wonderful.
That's what she does to me all the time, and I can keep up with her.
That's right. So the next dish that we're gonna make is one of my favorite, uses some of my absolute favorite ingredients. Hands down my favorite, anchovies. Yes.
Yes, you can clap, yeah.
How many people love anchovies, like eating them just as they are? Yes, amazing.
But they show in camera how beautiful they are.
I think they can see them.
Yeah, you can see them?
Yeah, you can also go here.
Yeah.
These are gorgeous. The anchovies from Spain are just incredible. Tinned seafood in general from Spain, like I don't think there's any equal, tuna or cockles or pickled mussels or...
And if you travel with me, I can show you around.
That's right. But my favorite thing about anchovies is not just to eat them on their own or skewering them with olives and piparra peppers, which is delicious, or putting them on top of toast with butter or whatever and eating them just as they are. They are a secret powerhouse ingredient for food, like in small quantities. When you put a tablespoon of mashed up anchovy or a teaspoon into pasta or into a sauce that you're cooking with chicken, you can't even tell that there's anchovy in it. But if it turns it into this magical, amazing, extra delicious, I don't know, heavenly thing. I don't know. They are I don't know how to describe it, but they are the secret power of cooking, for sure, hands down. I put them in everything. So I suggest that you do too. They make
Our chef de cuisine at the bodega, Matt Brown, he comes with a dish, it's a stick tartare, and he topped it with a matrimonio, an anchovy and a boqueron. So the anchovy is the cured anchovy, and the boqueron is the pickled anchovy. So it turns white, and it's just delicious. So it's a surf and turf, kind of.
We were recently making, with Brittany, who's back there helping out, making sure all this food comes out for my team, making a recipe for, you know, a dish similar to pisto manchego, like ratatouille, pisto manchego kind of come from the same family of dishes. They're vegetables that are cooked down, and decided to throw in a tablespoon of anchovies before they roasted, like chopped up, and it turned it into something absolutely incredible. Like it's I don't know how to describe it. How would you describe it?
I don't know.
You don't know. Oh my God, this is so good. I'm not even gonna get to start because we spent so much time talking about anchovies. The sauce is ready and it's delicious. At this point, I'm gonna nestle the fish back in so that it can finish cooking.
Get deep on it,
Wait,
right?
you know what I forgot? I forgot the Marcona almonds. Yes, that happens too. Let's see. We're gonna add,
She's so humble. Somebody will forget about it and don't say anything, you know, but
we're gonna add, I like smashed these in the bag to make it easy. Add about half of that in there for some texture, and then nestle the fish down in here so it finishes cooking. Oh my gosh, yum. Okay.
how's the fish? Because we are with the pairing, with the charlo, yeah?
And like what's bringing all of the flavor in this is the olives and also the white wine, for sure. White wine brings acidity, but the olives and the Marcona almonds are definitely the thing that, I think the olives may be the star. I'm gonna add. These were piquillos, so they're
Piquillos.
Coquillo, yeah, Coquillo, and they're, I don't know, delicious. So a dark olive, not a green olive, like.
It's similar to calamara?
Yeah, kind of similar to calamata, I would say, but not exactly
from
the same. Okay, let's see if the fish is done or one of the fillets is done. Almost. I think it needs, I'm going to turn down the heat. It needs like one more minute.
Are you going to open one? Do you need a plate for it? Or
Well, I was going to show it just like this, yeah. And then, because I think it looks nice in the dish here. Let's clean the edges. Okay. Okay, great.
Kelly didn't talk to you about it, but I'm going to say it.
I'm going to share this with you.
If you have been missing or you don't know about it yet, she's doing a show with Magnolia Network called From the Source. It's available in cable and also in Discovery Plus. So if you're more hunger of seeing Katie cooking, you know, you can follow her on the TV show they just launched like a few months ago, right?
Yes, yes. Oh, this one's perfect. Here, you want to try it? Thank you.
That's what I'm
Thank
here
you.
for, you know, it's like a, come on, go.
You get to try it. This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it. See how the fish just like
Oh my
flaked really
God.
easy? That's when it's perfect.
That's what, you're going to try it first?
That's for you. You try it first. Yeah, I already tasted it.
Wait.
You're gonna try it with the wine?
Oh.
That's a great idea.
Oh, that's that magic. When that happens, you know what I mean? It's like, wow, we're doing something right. We're doing something good.
Oh my gosh.
And more likely,
Oh, you're
the
right.
wine is always gonna. You know, people get too
Those go real.
complicated.
Those are perfect.
Pairing wine with food, you know what I mean? If the wine is good, you know what I mean? Believe me, it's gonna match it.
Okay, great. Next thing, to get back to my love affair with anchovies, I've got a pot here.
You turned this off already?
Yeah, I did, of olive oil. So some Arbequina olive oil. I'm gonna turn this on. While that's heating up, I have these peppers, dried peppers from Spain. They're called ñora peppers. They're the pepper that pimenton is made from, so they're like sweet and delicious and amazing. And anyway, they're incredible.
Ñora.
Ñora, yeah. N-O-R-A. Well, the N is like the N with the N-Y.
The N with the N like España.
Exactly, ñora. And to use them, you just like pop off the stem. So I'm gonna take out the stem and then break the pepper open.
It is a must
Dump out the
ingredient in the
seeds.
Spanish cuisine.
And kind of pull that little piece of the seeds out, because you don't want to eat, the seeds are bitter. And then I take out some of this membrane that's dried in here. And there we go. So I just wanted to demonstrate one, but I've got others here. While this is heating, I just
have to say something. Like, it's so odd and awkward that here I am from Spain, and my wife, this southern girl from Conway, South Carolina, she's showing you how to cook Spanish food. It's like
Thank you. Well, Felix and I met working for Jose Andres, who's amazing.
Who's that?
Jose, yes, who's amazing. And honestly, I studied engineering in school. I'm gonna drop these ñora peppers into the olive oil, just so you know, along with some sliced garlic. And then I'm gonna keep talking, because we're gonna let that kind of brown and slowly heat up together. Okay, so I studied engineering in school, and then was like lost and confused and didn't know what I was doing. And like most people, I decided to go into engineering just because I thought that was a job that I needed, even though I had no idea what an engineer actually did. And then I graduated from college and just couldn't figure out what to do. And so then I got a master's degree, as you would when you can't get a job. You just keep studying. But I was smart. I found a program offered in France, and that was what it was all about. I moved to France, cooked the entire time, have a master's degree in biomedical engineering, just in case we need that today. And then I was in DC because I was about to start a PhD, because again, I still couldn't get a job. And I was like, well, you just keep studying, and then eventually someone will hand one to you. And it's not exactly how that works, but and then I had this moment of I am really not enjoying this, and the PhD felt like life and forever. And so I decided to try to find a job in a restaurant, and I went around to all of the restaurants in Washington, D.C. with a resume that clearly read PhD dropout, 0 restaurant and cooking experience. And the only restaurant that would give me a job was Jose Andres' restaurant, Cafe Atlantico Mini Bar. It was amazing, because he's a wonderful individual, and his whole team is. And then shortly after, I met Felix, and started cooking Spanish food. Went to El Bulli with him, started cooking Spanish food, both in LA at the Bazaar, and then also in Spain. And then we opened a Spanish tapas restaurant in Asheville, North Carolina. So that is our story. And why Spanish food? So when we went to open a restaurant, I realized the only professional cooking experience I had was in Spain, and with Spanish food. And I married a Spaniard, so he keeps me honest and true in my
and Katie
in my
was
cooking.
the only reason I get back to the States, because Jose Andres brought me here to help him with service. And before he left Washington, he only had 6 restaurants in Washington, D.C. And at that time, asked me, I was doing consulting for him, and he told me, I need you for a full year so you can come with me to LA and open the first bazaar in a SLS hotel in Beverly Hills. And I was like, I don't know about that. It's I was not feeling, it's a very strong culture shock, from Spain to the United States. I was helping him in the restaurants, but eating outside, understanding the culture here. If it wasn't for Katie and her family, they introduced me to the real American culture, I will never, fall in love with this country as I did. So, yeah.
That is very sweet. That is very sweet. And the dishes that I'm cooking today are not classic, authentic Spanish dishes, but it's to show the flexibility of Spanish ingredients in whatever you're cooking, and the flavor, the intensity of flavor that they bring. So whether it's spices or olive oils or vinegars, which we're going to use in a minute, or anchovies or tinned seafood or jamon, or beans or rice. Almost forgot about rice. Rice is an important one. Any of those things, they bring such incredible flavor to cooking. Okay, so if you can see this right now, this is what we want. The garlic and ñora peppers are sizzling away, and we're gonna let that cook until the garlic is really nice and brown. And these things cooking in this much oil are going to get crispy, and then we're gonna grind them up in a mortar and pestle. So they're like frying in olive oil. And you get two things. You get this wonderful sauce that we're gonna put on the vegetables, which I believe you're enjoying now. And also you get this garlic and ñora pepper infused olive oil afterwards that then you can cook with whatever you're making. So it's
Katie,
delicious.
In the vegetables, I see radicchio,
Yes.
asparagus. No? It's not. Yeah, what else is there?
Fennel, I think?
Fennel.
Yes, yeah, roasted. And I love, like, particularly radicchio roasted, cooked with this, delicious sauce on top. It just changes that, something that you might think of as like a bitter vegetable. Tossed in olive oil, you can put it in the oven, 425, and then until it's nice and golden brown.
So another thing that I want to talk to you about pairing wines with food is that easily this can be not with the second wine, because that charello with the fish was perfect, but with the first one, with the verdejo, from Rueda. That would be a great pairing with the vegetables. But, people always say fish and wine, red and meat, right? So why not vegetables with a red wine? Why not? The charcoal the vegetables get, and how they've been roasted, the earthiness from the vegetables, the bitterness from the radicchio. I think they're good combinations. They can go well with red wine as well. So we have to get out of the comfort zone and try different pairings. So when I saw that we have Rioja Alta in the 10, I couldn't ask for the Reserva 2015. So this is a wine, this current in our bodega, and is the wine that we sell the most. It's our Reserva by the glass. So when I say by the glass, you can imagine that it's not that expensive, right? And that's what it's all about, Spanish wines. That you get that value, you get that luxury, you know what I mean? You're not breaking your pocket, when you get a bottle of nice Spanish wines. So this Vineyard Danza Reserva 2015, that's the current vintage. So this wine is a Tempranillo and Garnacha. So it's like a 70 plus Tempranillo and maybe 28, 30 Garnacha blend. You guys been tasting it already? So it's been blended separately, the Tempranillo from one side and the Garnacha from a different side. And in American oak, it's been the Tempranillo has been 36 months and the Garnacha has been 30 months. And then it's been in the bottle for at least minimum 2 years until it's released. So this is the current vintage right now that you're enjoying.
Wow.
Like a medium body.
Oh my
Like
gosh, that's delicious.
Full, very round, spices.
It's delicious. So, yes. Yes, at the
We
bodega
should
we
close the
make
door.
it.
We don't have Spanish tortilla in our restaurant.
I love it.
Speaking of tortilla de patatas, we also have a cookbook, Katie.
Yes, it's true. We do.
Yeah, what is our cookbook?
Wait,
He's not
wait,
here?
wait. I have to pause. So, see how nice and golden brown the garlic is getting? So, and what's happened, I don't know if you noticed, it was kind of bubbling more furiously, and now everything's kind of slowing down on the bubbles, and that means all that water content has cooked out and it'll be nice and crispy. I'm gonna let it go just a little bit more, and then I'm gonna strain it and put it into the mortar and pestle in just a moment. I want to keep developing the brownness on that garlic, like to the edge of worried about it burning, but not burning. That's how we like maximize the flavor.
Create the cookbook.
Yes, we have a cookbook. In case you don't know. And I'll be signing in the 10 at 4:30, the cookbook in that
There we
the
go.
merchandising
There it is.
section.
Thank
That's
you.
the book.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
So
Actually, the
Tortilla
piquillo
patata
confit
recipe
recipe
right there.
is in the book as well. Yes, for sure. Okay, this is ready to strain. So I'm going to do that. Sorry, did I interrupt you?
no.
Okay. this is heavy. I don't know why I'm moving that. Don't move the giant heavy.
I didn't
do
touch
this.
anything.
No, I'm talking myself.
Ah.
Okay. Scoop this out. I love how that was your like instant reaction. I didn't touch anything. Okay. Great. Let that cool for just a minute so that it crisps up, and then I'm going to break it up.
Look at that. Look at that. Ñora peppers and garlic.
Yeah. Okay.
That's heavy.
Yeah, this is heavy. Okay. I love a mortar and pestle for grinding. If you don't have one, though, you can chop things up. You could let this cool and throw it in a food processor. Like, there are other options.
And this is another thing that we use a lot in Spain.
Yes, yes, completely. So, I don't know if you can hear it crackling. It's because the peppers got crispy in that oil.
I like garlic chips.
You eating the garlic?
It was
This
out.
was
It
measured
it
exactly.
get out like a.
I need every single piece
sorry.
slice. Okay, so I've got these starting to break up, and I'm gonna put the 3 anchovies in here. This is how you hide anchovy flavor in everything. You blend it up, and it like, people won't know it's there, your kids won't know it's there, but it like makes it delicious. It's what makes the dish delicious. Everything delicious. Okay. Felix, could you do this for a minute?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass that off to you. Okay. So I've got the roasted vegetables right here. You gotta blend that up good.
No, that's on me.
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna put a small pinch of salt. Here you go. Did you notice how I just handed the hard work off? Like, which? The sauce? Oh my gosh, like forever. Yeah, totally. You keep it with oil. I'm gonna add vinegar to it. It's gonna make this delicious vinaigrette. It
This is hard
refrigerated
work.
a month. Be fine. Yeah.
It's enough. It is just a demo.
I know, but it has to be perfect. Okay. We're striving for perfection. Did he just admit that you guys won't be tasting what we're making up here, and so it may not matter? Yes, he did. Okay. All right, that looks good. Yes, agreed.
I forget that last part.
This?
Yeah, I forget that.
Yes. Okay. Now I'm gonna add olive oil and vinegar. Give me 1 second.
And if you wonder where you can get the anchovies, the ñora peppers, all these ingredients, we sell them.
The olive oil.
Curate at home.
Spoon, here it is. Okay. I'm gonna put a couple of spoons of that olive oil in there. And I mean, this stuff is gold. Then I'm adding Pedro Jimenez vinegar. So do you want to talk about what Pedro Jimenez is?
It's a PX. Pedro Jimenez is PX. Is one of the main grapes in the south of Spain, in Cadiz. So normally sherry is known for Palomino Fino. There's actually a dry, it's a white grape, and it's like 90% of the sherry, believe it or not, is dry. People think that sherry is sweet. Only a 10% is sweet, and that 10% comes either from PX, from Pedro Jimenez, or Moscatel.
So these, this vinegar, the Pedro Jimenez vinegar, is my favorite. I mean, that, sherry vinegar, and Moscatel are like the 3 Spanish vinegars that we have in our pantry all the time. What I love about the PX vinegar is has a little bit of sweetness, you know, kind of like balsamic or some other vinegars might have that like natural sweetness from the type of wine that's
When
used.
the demo is done, feel free to come here and taste all these olive oils, sherries, because from now on, you're going to be cooking only with sherry and olive oil from Spain.
That's right. That's the goal. Correct. Okay. Do you want to taste the sauce and
Of course.
see how it is? Here, you can grab that
That's
spoon.
this one?
Either one.
That's what I do at home all day.
Tell me if
Well,
it needs
actually, I
more
do that,
salt.
but- You know what reminds me?
Oh my gosh, it's so
The
good.
romesco, that ñora.
Oh my
The ñora
goodness.
is another ingredient for another traditional Spanish
Yum.
dish, romesco. You know that we use ñora. That ñora bring me back to
I know, but it's the anchovy.
the saltiness. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
And the vinegar. And this is going to get spooned right on top of here. Do you want me to move it over there for you? Or great. Perfect. Actually, I'm going to add just a little bit more oil to this.
This sausage one is making this wine, you know, just like lightening it up.
There we go. I'm just adding a little more oil so it's got the right texture so I can spoon it over the vegetables. That earthiness from the peppers and the garlic and vinegar and oh my gosh, you could put this on other things besides vegetables, but
Fish, meat,
yes.
rice,
Completely.
beans. What
And
else?
then just a little bit of parsley and then
Always,
always
Spanish olive oil.
always a little bit extra olive oil. Great.
So, and because we only have 1 hour for this demo, and we were like 3-4 dishes, you know, that we had to cook. So we decided to make it easy on the dessert part. So that cookie that Katie was mentioning, you want to talk a little bit? You want me to go ahead?
Yeah, you talk about it.
So that's you can go ahead before you open it. Is an extra one around here?
For
Can I
a
have an extra
demo?
one?
This requires a demonstration.
Yeah.
You think that you know
No,
how
no,
to eat a
that's yours.
cookie. You do not. Just wait.
So you
Just
basically,
wait.
you put it as a kid. Oh, I love that. I grew up with this. So we were talking about Christmas and New Year's Eve. So this is one of the, in Spain, you know, it's a tradition to have at the end of the table, through the whole holiday time, a platter full of turrón and polvorones. So like everything, like almond related, you know, they stays there all day long, and the kids just go all day, like going to have a little bit of a turrón, a little polvoron. So they're almond based, so they're a little bit crumble. They crumble very easy, so you eat it right away. It can break, so the best way to eat it is do this. Just mash it. That's what we do all day long. It's a good exercise too. Huh? Just mash it. And then, because I wanted to make it fun, I realized that the Torres family, they also have, in top of the beautiful wines like Celeste and all of the other wineries that they made all over Spain and Chile, I was telling you before, with the Celeste, the white wine, they also have brandy. And they make a beautiful orange liqueur from brandy. This, right there on the rocks, there's gonna be a perfect pairing with this polvoron. So please enjoy it.
I'm very excited. I've never had this. I'm really excited to try it. And while I would love to show you how to make polvorones from scratch, you know, the ones from Spain are the best. We make them sometimes in the holidays.
Now it's easy to take a bite of it, you know, because you know it crumbles.
Yes.
We don't have peanut butter in Spain.
Oh my gosh.
This is the
Yum.
closest to peanut butter, right?
It's all almonds, right?
Yeah. You see how it tastes with them.
This is going to
Orange
go
liqueur.
really well.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Salud. Thank you
Salud.
guys for being here. And we want to thank we want to thank Food and Wines from Spain again. Like, we're doing something right because they keep calling us. So
Yes.
like, it is something.
Right.
They've been trusting us. They've been believing in us since what, 2015.
I don't know. It's been many years. So
And
they're
we've been
wonderful.
coming, to do parties, to be in the tent, to do demos, and we couldn't find a better partner to show you all these ingredients, all these Spanish wines that we cook and enjoy every day in our life here in the United States.
And before we open it up to questions, the only thing that I have to tell you all is I hope that you enjoyed the demonstrations. I hope that you go home and put Spain in your pantry. So you can cook with...
I have one more thing. Here in the corner, we have Mary Byers. She's our marketing and communicator director. She's the one keeping us going, and she will be also helping you. You have answers about cook it at home, cook it trips, anything related. We will be around too, but go see her.
Yes, for sure. And with that, do you guys have any questions?
What do you cook with saffron?
Saffron. I mean, I like to use it in rice dishes and not just paella, but it's also great in like a cappuccino or it infuses in cream. Desserts really well, like a flan, or it infuses really well in anything with fat,
dishes as well.
and yes, for finishing things. So desserts, I would say, is probably my go-to use of it. Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite dish to cook at home?
What's our favorite dish to cook at home?
Simple, very simple.
I mean, we do a lot of roasted vegetables and fish in a pan, and this is very reminiscent of something that we would do at home for sure.
So we have two kids. We have a 7-year-old and a
Yes.
almost 4-year-old. So we have to cook every day for them. So we try to make it simple and easy so they can also, we eat in courses. So make sure that they eat the veggies first.
And I think that what I like to do, which I kind of did with the ñora peppers and the garlic and everything, but oftentimes I'll just mix some things in a mortar and pestle, some raw garlic and some anchovy and butter or olive oil and a little bit of vinegar and maybe some fresh herbs, and you can put that on anything. And then that's what we do,
make their
right?
pasta very
We'll
interesting.
sear some plain fish, right? A little olive oil and salt, nothing else, or a steak, or some vegetables, and then make a simple vinaigrette using Spanish olive oil, vinegar, and anchovies, and maybe a little bit of lemon juice. And I put that on everything. So it's all about making things. What I love about it is it's about making things flavorful but easy. So, superpowers.
Yes.
What do you recommend for a hot spice, a hot sauce?
But we use pimentón. It's one of the basic ingredients also in Spanish cuisine. You have picante and you have dulce. These two spices that we use a lot. And we also make at Curate, we make an aperitivo sauce that goes very well with all the canned and pantry items that we have that you can buy in Curate at home.
But it's not spicy.
It has that pickly
I would say that there's the pimentón, the spicy pimentón is the way that you can add some spice to what you're cooking, some heat. Yeah.
More questions?
Who does the dishes?
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
We alternate depending on who puts the kids to bed. That's yeah. You do it more often than I do, though. That's fair, because I usually do the cooking. So.
She does the cooking. She hates when I say she lets me cook. She says, "Oh yeah, right. I let you cook." No, but I do more